Hi guys! It's me again, your girl Annalisa M. Patino from DSED Filipino 2. And welcome back to my YouTube channel! And for today's video, I'm going to be your teacher and I will discuss the 5 characteristics of a good performance. But before that, I'm going to fix myself first because as you can see, I'm not well dressed because earlier I got busy for some important stops related here in house and of course in school. So yeah, you should get ready and you must fasten your seatbelt for I will see you in the next few minutes. So, goodbye! See ya! Welcome back! So from this moment, I will start discussing our topic for today, which is the 5 characteristics of a good performance assessment. But before that, let me explain and define first what is the word characteristic and the word performance assessment. So, what is the word characteristic? According to Oxford Languages, the word characteristic was defined as a feature or quality belonging typically to a person, to a place or thing, and serving to identify it. While the word performance assessment was defined as an approach to educational assessment that requires students to directly demonstrate what they know and are able to do through an open-ended task such as constructing answers, producing a project, and performing a certain activity. Now, let's go back to our main topic, which is the 5 characteristics of a good performance assessment. So, number 1, it is authentic. It includes the performance task, which is realistic and meaningful. Accordingly, in this performance assessment, it should present and requires a task that is realistic and related to everyday life. An example of this is when you are a teacher in TVL subject, and specifically in cookery, and it is examination week. Instead of giving your student a paper and pencil test, you provide them a performance test for the students to create their own recipe in cooking. With that, the students will discover their own hidden talent in cooking and their skills that is very useful in the outside world in the near future if they want to create their own business. Another example of this is when you are an instructor of a certain university and you teach in a education course. And that curriculum of that certain university requires you to give an assessment to that specific course. And instead of giving your students a paper and pencil test, you provide an performance test to your students, which is demo teaching. With this, the students will enhance their teaching strategies and skills, which is important and useful in pursuing their profession in the near future. And that is exactly an example of authentic assessment. Number 2, it should provide opportunities for students to show both what they know and how well they can do what they know. Accordingly, in this performance assessment, it should achieve a balanced approach wherein it gives students opportunities to show their knowledge and of course their skill competencies. An example of this is when a teacher will assign his students in making a thesis. The teacher will require his students to pass an output of their work. With this, the teacher will learn and know that if his students are truly learning about the different parts of the research paper. And after doing the paperwork, the student will produce a tangible product which is very useful in real-life situations. Number 3. It allows students to be involved in the process of evaluating their own and their peers' performance output. It is said here that this performance assessment should allow students to be involved in the process of evaluating themselves and their peers. It should give students the opportunity for self-reflection or self-assessment, as well as to be involved in evaluating their classmates' performance. The good example of this is when a teacher will group his students to do a certain performance and ask them to give a feedback and score with their peers. Another characteristic of a good performance assessment is it assesses more complex skills. Accordingly, unlike traditional tests that usually assess a single skill and require simple tasks such as remembering and recalling of concepts, performance assessment rather usually taps higher order cognitive skills to apply knowledge to solve realistic and meaningful problems. The perfect example of this is when a teacher will ask his students to do a marketing research. The students must present and come up with a marketing strategist of a certain product of their choice. With this, the teacher will know and learn the students' creativity, planning skills, communication skills, collaborative skills, and their research skills. And the last characteristics of a good performance assessment is it explains the task required elements, the scoring criteria to the students before the start of the activity and the assessment. Accordingly, at the start of the class, it is important that the requirements of the subject are presented and explained for the students. This includes the required tasks, activities, or projects, the expected quality and level performance or output, the rubric to be used. An example of this is when a teacher are in a discussion and he asks his students about their learnings, their knowledges, their opinions, and their ideas about the discussion. Later on, he come up with a performance task that should be worked by the students later on. And as for that, he presented a criteria to his students. And then he asked the students if it is okay for them by the given criteria. And that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy my video and I hope you learned something. Till next time, bye!